Welcome back to Bold of You to Say. This is our second episode. This week we have a very special guest star, Mr. Mord. Say hi, Mr. Mord.
Hi.
Jared, what's your favorite memory with Mr. Mord? All right, I'll start. My favorite memory with Mr. Mord, I don't have many, but I do have one that I hold near and dear to my heart. It was when we were at Art Prize. You weren't there. Gavin was, though. It was at the Gerald Ford Museum, and there was like a plaque, it was like a memorial thing. And, at one point it was like something Lyndon B. Johnson, and I was like, hey guys, did you know that LBJ is Spanish for the BJ?
Wow.
That's one of my proudest moments.
You said that in front of me.
I said that to you.
I blocked that from my mind. I don't remember that.
You tried not to laugh.
There was that time at the beginning of the year
I
when
turned
Mr.
quickly.
Martin Mills yelled at me. I'm fond of that moment.
We yelled at you?
Yeah, I
What was-
remember I was doing the bad stuff, and you're like, hey, you gotta stop with that. And I was like, okay, my life is boring.
So, between the last episode and now, I had to be an auctioneer for a prom fundraiser. And
Oh yeah, how's that going? I'm gonna make sure I don't have to pay $80 to go.
No, you still have to pay $80.
I'm
Everyone
not
else is
going.
paying $50, but you're paying $80.
Why 50 though?
You know what you did. So anyway, I had to be an auctioneer there, and I'm telling you, it's way harder than it looks.
Well, yeah, I mean you gotta have the pizzazz to do it.
No, it's not just the
Catch
pizzazz. I
attention.
plenty pizzazz, but it's just remembering all the numbers.
Oh.
Because you're shouting numbers back and forth. You have to remember what the bid was, and you have to remember what the paddle number was.
Can
It's
you
a mess.
demonstrate
Yes.
Okay, so
how
If
you
I'm-
sound? I'm interested.
Or if I'm bidding something off, I'm
Here,
I have a whole
list.
list of stuff that I have to read off.
Yep.
I read off what the value is. I read off the description of the item, and the starting bid. And they write the starting bid. They write the increment of how much you increase the price. So say it's starting bid is $10, then you go up $5. Every time.
Right.
So if paddle number 88 holds up their paddle, you got to remember, all right, $10 for 88. Oh, now it's 15 for 95. Now it's 20 for this number, 25 for this number. Sometimes I'm like, okay, did I just say 25 or am I about to say 25? And you have to do it quickly in front of a bunch of people. I had to tap out halfway through. I didn't ask to. I was a trooper through the whole thing, but they could just tell I was dead inside up there.
I'm kind of curious. I want to know how fast you can
Yeah,
do this.
say
So
it,
I
say
have a book here.
Oh,
I
trust
want you
me,
to try
I-
and sell me this book.
No, my flannel shirt.
His flannel shirt. Yes.
All right, item
My
number
prized
one.
flannel shirts.
Item number one, valued at $45. It's a very, very beautiful red and white plaid shirt worn by the famous Mr. Mord. Starting bid is $25. Can we get $25?
30.
No, you.
I'm going up. I don't care. I want that shirt.
I'll start at 25. I'll give you 25.
All
I'll
right,
give you
25
more
on
than that.
paddle number 88.
100.
100. 100 on paddle number 69.
I always win eBay bids.
105.
105. 125.
Did you remember that episode of The Office where there was a silent auction?
Oh, 1
and-
penny.
and
105 and,
Dwight-
1 penny.
No, I remember that episode of The Office where Dwight thinks that a silent auction works you guess the value of the thing and then you win it.
Yeah. I wish that's how silent auctions were. They'd be so much easier to get stuff.
I just thought it was so funny that Dwight doesn't know how silent auctions work, and he learns in the worst way.
Just, I have to pay that much?
But do you remember his face? He was just like...
Dwight's...
So did he bid on all the items?
Yeah, he bid on all of the items. He was like, wow, you're really writing down $5 for that? That's easily $35 at least. Oh, that's easily $1,500.
You won everything. Nice. You have to owe us $250,000.
They were like, oh, thank you for generously bidding so much on these items. And then he just runs out. So, enough introduction. Should we go to our first bold statement? Jared, would you like to give yours?
I forgot mine.
You forgot.
You want to just do Star Wars again?
I'll do mine.
I'll think of something.
All right, I would be so bold as to say that Sing Street, the movie that we watched in class last week, I think that is a better Bohemian Rhapsody than Bohemian Rhapsody. Because, like, I said this already, but the movie Sing Street shows the process of how these kids form into a band.
Yeah.
And Bohemian Rhapsody just starts off,
let's do a band, and then
they're like, let's do a band, national tour.
Yeah.
So I haven't seen Bohemian Rhapsody. And one, I really like that you liked Sing Street, like, because it was important to me that you guys liked that.
Oh, it's a good movie.
I watched a video essay on it this morning.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Really?
It was about it was equality over originality, and made a lot of good points about, like, a story doesn't have to be something new and innovative to be, a really good story.
Yeah. Cool. That's cool. But I haven't seen Bohemian Rhapsody, so I'm curious. So obviously Carney, the director of Sing Street, wanted to tell a specific story, but I'm interested in. So he wanted to tell a story of the development of this group, right? Specifically Cosmo. But like Bohemian Rhapsody, what was their point if they went from let's start a band and now they're on these major stages?
Wasn't the original idea of Bohemian Rhapsody was it's going to be like the Freddie Mercury biopic, but it's more or less just the Queen biopic?
Yeah, it kind of tries to do both. Like, you can tell it is primarily a Freddie story, but a lot of it's character beats for the band, and I think they could have done it better.
Yeah, I know that the band Queen nowadays are very just kind of uppity about that kind of stuff. Like, you know how Freddie Mercury did? He did a lot of not so good things when he was a rock star. They don't want people to talk about that, so they try to hide that stuff a lot of times. Like in interviews, like that never happened. He lied. It's like
they did a lot. They did a lot to cover their asses in this movie because Roger Taylor, the drummer, and Brian May, the guitarist, they were producers for the movie. They were they were involved in writing the story. So a lot of it's like in one scene, Freddie, he's getting into a bad scene. He's with a bad crowd. Yeah. Drinking a lot, coming into rehearsals late.
And then they just say.
And okay, so there's Freddie who's dead, not able to have any input on the story that they're telling, and then two of the guys that are there writing the story, they just happen to be the ones that are completely, nothing. They do nothing wrong. They're always on time. They always have a great work ethic. They never show up late. They never drink a little too much. They're always the first to leave the parties.
Man, these guys do not sound like rock stars.
I'm just saying, you can't. I think you have to be untethered from the band if you're going to tell the band story.
Yeah.
I think it would be better to bring on biographers for Freddie Mercury. There's got to be Freddie Mercury.
Not of just Freddie Mercury, but of Queen itself, just the band. And then having no alcohol or drugs or any of that stuff in it. It doesn't feel like it's the band because that's like half of what they did. One half was music, the other half was parties. It's kind of like.
I'm just saying you don't write bicycle race sober.
Good point.
Yeah, I think if you want to tell a Freddie Mercury story, of course you got to do all the big beats like the AIDS diagnosis. All that. But you also have to show.
His life
you have to show the
crazy, man.
You got to show the day-to-day writing of the songs that made Queen. Mm-hmm. It's just Freddie Mercury meets the guys. They form the band,
and then they just
he draws the logo. Boom, national tour. No, going to clubs, struggling. Yeah. Trying to get gigs, writing songs. You never see them sit down to write a song. It's just, hey guys, let's form a band. 2 seconds later, they have 10 number one hits. Fat Bottom Girls is written in 2 seconds.
Yeah.
Yeah, I won't even go see that movie. What's the point?
I think
no, because the cool thing about Sing Street is we understood why they wrote the songs.
Yeah, they give you explanations for it. Yeah. I want to know the explanation for Killer Queen. Like, what's the meaning behind it? Because all I can think of is Marie Antoinette shooting lasers. I mean, it sounds cool, but why?
Yeah, I think it was. I think it was one of their first poppy songs.
Yeah.
So it's more of like a pop song than more their hard rock origins.
Mm-hmm.
Jared, do you have a bold statement?
Bold statement? So if Apple was to make all of the technology in the world, I think it would end in 1 year. Like, the entire world. Because, like... here's my argument for it. Like, Apple phones and stuff, they're basically designed to just fail after the warranty ends, so you go and buy another one, right? Like it's like, here's a good phone, but now we're making another one, so this one's now obsolete. Let's remove functions from it. I feel like if they made pacemakers and stuff, there'd be a lot less people around. Like...
After 2 years, it doesn't hold a charge.
After 2 years, you have to go in to get another open heart surgery to get your pacemaker replaced with the iHeart 62 Nano.
But you can't get it put in at just any hospital. It has to be an Apple
hospital
that charges 1,000% more.
Steve Jobs is just like running off of like ground up money. Oh, that reminds me though. I got a fun fact. Good story. There's a guy, one of the richest people in the world. I forget his name, but he's like best friends with Steve Jobs.
Yeah.
And he is like a penny pincher. He doesn't spend anything. When he goes to McDonald's, because he loves McDonald's, he asks for coupons. One of the richest men in the world asks McDonald's employees, "Can I have the coupons?"
Well, yeah, you don't become a billionaire paying full price.
I know, but it's just so funny because like there's stories of him going out with like all of his eccentric rich friends, and they go to McDonald's and they buy stuff with coupons. It's like, that's weird. Imagine like some like teenager working at McDonald's, so they're just sitting there like they're having the shift, and all of a sudden like limousines pull up, they walk in, and they just hand them a stack of coupons. It's like, what?
Nah, my goal is to have a wallet filled with coupons.
Just filled with coupons?
You know, at Subway, sometimes they have coupons that like people don't accept. Like if they offer like a coupon and someone's like, no thanks. Sometimes they store them away, and if you just ask them, they'll give you one.
Oh man, speaking about Subway, I've got a fun story there. There's a guy that was working at Subway when I went in there, I think last year, and it was like he quit that day, but he was finishing up his shift, and he was just not having any of it. So he was just telling people, "No, I'm not putting that on the sandwich. You're eating this one," and stuff like that. He's like, it was funny, but he was really rude about it.
Salami is for good customers.
It's like, can you cook that? It's like, I don't know, can I? And he just hands it to the other person and leaves. It's like, okay. I just love it when like an employee's just had enough with a job, so they quit and they just like try to make it like the most overly done production. It's like, this is my last day. I'm gonna have fun with it.
Yeah, I think why just put in your 2 weeks and leave? Make a scene.
Have
some fun with it.
Have some fun.
Mord, unfortunately, you are leaving.
Yeah.
Soon.
I thought that's why the conversation headed into make a scene as I leave.
Yeah, make a scene. Just like
expecting.
Get some. Yeah. Oh my gosh, we should bring in our trombones and just play them as he enters.
We should play play fanfare.
Playing fanfare. Oh,
hell, get into a fist fight or two.
Get in a brawl. Get out to culinary and just start throwing bottles everywhere.
You should just say whatever, like the opposite of whatever Mill says. If Mill says that's a great shot, be like, no, that's not. A terrible shot.
They just walk up and just like, no, it's not. What's wrong with you? Just walk away. Oh, man.
Yeah, sorry, I interrupted. So you're saying I'm headed out.
You're heading out.
Yeah, we'll miss you.
You're going to see the big wide world out there.
No, my world is going to be smaller. I'm not going to leave my house.
Oh.
I'm just going to stay home
yeah,
with my
he's
kids.
under house arrest.
He's like the reverse of me right now. It's like, I'm about to leave this year so I could go and see the world. He's about to leave this year to stay home.
Are you going anywhere when you leave this place?
I don't know. We'll see. It depends on how much it costs and stuff. I mean, I have a plan. It's not a good plan, but it's a plan.
What is it?
There's like 5 of them, and each one's like the cheapest I can possibly be. All the way down to just live in my car and eat blocks of ramen. You gotta do what you gotta do. Like, there's some positions opening up in stores near me, but I do not have my car yet, so I still gotta work on that. So that's a bit of a problem. that really just puts a thorn in like every plan, especially the car one.
Yeah, I definitely want to get out of Benzie as soon as possible.
Okay, so you know how I buddy up with the teachers at Benzie and they all love me and talk to me and stuff? Every one of them has told me to leave Benzie as soon as I can.
Yeah, it's like
everyone
get
was
out
as soon as you can, just go. Don't look back. Like, the only one that hasn't was Huddleston, and she's like, oh, it's a great place to live. I don't see why everyone wants to leave. It's like, there's nothing to do. We got a factory that closed down.
What do people do in Benzie? Like
drugs, mostly.
Kids do
houses.
drugs,
People
adults get sad. That's Benzie.
But what are the jobs? Do people have to travel to work?
No, there's
a lot do. Like my sister,
yeah.
She travels.
There used to be a factory that had a lot of people employed, but that closed down, so now everyone's poor again. So, I mean, there's that.
Yeah. Yeah, there's not really much in the county.
It doesn't help.
It's a pretty poor area.
Surrounding counties also are on the brink of just completely collapsing. Like, look at Honor. That place used to be good, and now it's just a skeleton town. Not a ghost town, a skeleton town. There's still some life in it. But it's mostly just decaying away.
Just a little bit. Just enough for it to be sad.
There's a bar and a retail store, and that's the only successful thing. Oh, and the gas station.
Oh, there's Jim's Joint.
I don't know what that is.
It's a barbecue place.
Is that actually succeeding?
I think so. That's a nice sign.
That's a nice That's how you know. Is the paint chipping away? Maybe it was just put in.
Yeah, it was put in a year or two ago.
I don't know
why.
Me, though, is the Honor Town Council have so many opportunities to try and turn the town around and stuff, but they never take them. They have a school that was closed down, just a giant school building, just sitting there. No one uses it. Are you telling me you can't think of anything for that? There's
Oh, you mean Platte
so
River?
Much stuff. Yeah, Old Platte River.
I want to use it for paintball.
Yeah, you can use extracurricular activities, outside stuff. You can set up little
just paintball.
Not paintball.
Just paintball.
The little celebration things they have. You can use it as a hall, what do they call them? Not town hall, but you know what I mean.
A community center?
Yeah. Just do something with it. Try to put some life into your community.
Maybe a second Grow Benzie building.
I'm thinking more extensive, more stuff. You know, a combination of the tribal center, which has people rent it out to do parties and stuff all the time, and Grow Benzie Center, maybe some of the after school activities that we have normally, but you go there instead. Just something to make the place more lively, because I'm sick of driving through there to get to Traverse, and it's just a ghost town.
Yeah, I think the problem with the building, though, is just the cost of maintenance. I think that's why it got shut down.
Yeah.
We're actually opening another elementary school, I heard.
Where?
I don't know, but it's to replace Platte River.
Huh. Is it also going to be called Platte River?
Platte River 2.
Platte River 2, the sequel.
Platte River 2, Electric Boogaloo. No, Platte River, it was an elementary school in our district.
Okay.
It was the old high school back in the 60s, I think. It goes back to the 60s, right?
Yeah, no, I think it even goes back further.
Yeah, it's a really, really old building. They've done a lot of work on it. But yes, even some of the doors, you can tell those are old.
Oh,
it looks
old.
Looks like they got them from the set of Grease.
You're not wrong. They actually do look very similar. No, I always just get on sore spot with that, because my aunt basically killed Honor. She was in charge of the city council, the town council or whatever, and Coho Festival, and how that was the only thing people would come around for. It was this big thing that they had, the celebration and stuff. There's the parade, and they had the vendors and all that stuff. Well, she put so many restrictions and taxes and stuff on the vendors and stuff to try and milk them for what they're worth. Only 5 people showed up, and no one bought anything.
Wow.
Coho Festival was the biggest fail, and now they don't do that anymore. The vendors don't come. There's a reason for that. My aunt killed it. I hate my aunt.
You got to be proud of that.
She killed Honor.
What a power play.
It's she killed a town. I just feel so bad.
You're like a Skywalker.
I'm like a Skywalker. I have to take over the Honor Town Council now.
I am the town council.
I am the council.
No, I definitely want to get out. My dream would be to go to New York and make it in the stand-up scene. Maybe go on SNL.
I kind of want to go to Norway. I want to go where my ancestors came from. I feel like that'd be cool.
I feel like you'd be great at pillaging.
Great at pillaging. I don't know. I want to see that stuff though. Like, there's a lot of things that I haven't really looked at on that side of my family. And I'm like, oh, that's cool. Viking stuff.
One time I asked my mom what our nationality heritage is, and she was like, oh, well, we got some German ancestors, Dutch, English, just all white countries. Basically, I'm just all different kinds of white put together.
You're just European.
I'm white prime.
In America. White prime.
I'm the KKK's wet dream.
I have two big things in my heritage that I want to learn more about. Well, not really learn more about for the second one because I've already learned a lot about it. That's the Native American side and the Scandinavian, Norwegian, Viking stuff. The problem is, though, my entire childhood was just filled with all of the Native American stuff. And it's yeah, that stuff's cool, but what about this other side all the way over here? Can I learn about this? And then, my aunt, the other one, the one that didn't kill Honor. I have, 7 aunts.
One of them hates me.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. She's really, really, into the Native American side and stuff. She's like, oh, let's go do this. But Katrina, I wanna read about the Norse people.
Wow, they named her after a hurricane?
Yeah. But no, Katrina, she's nice.
Katrina,
but
we're
she's
gonna find her.
also kind of dumb. Because, I remember, what was it? We made a joke, how could the Japanese be in World War II? Because, the map and stuff.
It was a thing on Facebook.
And she just freaked out by that. It's Katrina, stop.
It was a map of the world.
She thought it was an actual thing where someone's oh, yeah, they can't do that. It's they can just go around. It's Katrina, it's a joke.
How could they do it? How could they bomb Pearl Harbor? It's too long of a journey.
It's
Pearl Harbor was an inside job.
My aunt took that joke so seriously, and at that point I realized, oh my God.
The reason that she hates me...
She shouldn't be teaching children anything.
The reason that she hates me is she commented that. She was like, they just go around, and I commented that it was a picture of a stick figure. It was a stick figure, and it was the joke.
She got really mad. I remember
she got really mad. I did it again, and now she hates me.
I went to a family get-together, and she was just berating you the whole time. She really doesn't like you now.
She talks about me?
Once. I don't know if she still
special.
does. My dad's side of the family is just a bunch of wild cards, that's for sure. You got some, good people, and then you got, people who would steal your credit card if they could.
Family,
yeah.
I have a lot of white trash family members.
You see, my mom's side's also like my dad's side a bit, except the difference is where my dad's side would do it in front of your face, my mom's side would do it behind your back. They're very it's a complicated relationship, but if you have a lockbox with your wallet in it, you should be fine.
I have a very camo-wearing country music family.
Oh, yeah, I know.
Really? Yeah.
He's so different from them.
Yeah, my father is literally the opposite of me. He didn't raise me.
I remember you showed
luckily.
me his Facebook profile.
Oh, his Facebook.
It's
his
Facebook
is
your
great.
dad?
Yeah.
So do you see him very often?
Not anymore. No. I used to when I was little. He runs a second-hand store. My girlfriend's dad wants to go there and mess it up. Because one time, my girlfriend's dad had an interaction with my dad. It was years ago.
Oh yeah, this.
My dad likes to screw people over on deals and stuff. There was this guy. My dad told him he could stay on his farmland, and as long as he helps out and stuff, he gets to live there. The guy thought that he would get to live in a house. He got a tent.
He lived in a tent.
He got a tent, and. He ended up getting some it was a portable small housing thing. It wasn't a camper. It was he had to lay down the foundation and it was a small building on it.
Like a trailer?
Yeah, like a trailer. And my dad gave him the cement and the trailer to put it down, but he wouldn't do any of the foundation stuff. So my girlfriend's dad had to go over and lay the foundation down because they tried it and they messed it up. He had to go fix it up. And so he went up to my dad. He was like, so are you going to, like, pay me for this? He was like, no.
No.
And my dad, he likes to collect big decommissioned army trucks and, like, army uniforms and, like, Mickey Mouse boots and stuff.
Yeah.
So he had one of his trucks there. The back was open, and there were uniforms and boots in the back. And my girlfriend's dad stole some uniforms and boots.
Jesus.
As payment?
Yeah. And when he found out that was my dad, he was like, oh, dude, we got to go over there and mess up his store. He wants to, like, go over and knock stuff down. And then when my dad's like, who do you think you are? He wants me to, like, go up and be like, I'm your son.
Wow. Is the secondhand store Coatmish Kmart?
Kmart?
It's just called Coatmish Kmart. I forget the name of the actual store. Because if it's Coatmish Kmart, I'm afraid I can't let you do that. I shop there all the time.
No, it's not that.
They got a good selection of old VHS tapes.
I'll just bleep it out in post, but the store is called...
How long's that been open?
I don't know. He was running it when I was little. Like a long time, like decades. I think his mother started it. Like his mother and father started it. And then she moved down to Florida to start another one, and he like took it over. And yeah, he like goes to garage sales, picks up
buys like
picks up stuff and then
kids'
resells
toys,
it.
then sells them at full value.
Basically, yeah.
Oh man, that does not sound like a good resale store. How does he have business?
I don't know. It's where I got my PS2 though.
Does it still work?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a PS2 Slim. I got it with Battlefront 2. The way that I got it is I was over there. I was little. I was maybe like 10, and I was like, "Hey, Dad, I'm bored. I want to play something." And
Just
so he set that up for me to play it.
PlayStation.
And I was like, "Hey, can I take this home?" And he was like, "Yeah, sure." And I've had it ever since.
You probably got the only working PlayStation there.
Probably.
Oh, speaking about video game stores and stuff, have you seen that GT Games place?
Yeah.
It's a really nice place.
I go to garage sales and resell stuff there.
Yeah, no, that's a good idea.
Yeah, I can buy like a stack of games for $1 and then get like $20 in credit.
They got a fairly decent system though with their store credit money back thing. It's actually really nice because like they get the games and stuff and they look at the condition that it's in. They have like this whole like other website with the algorithms and stuff they look at, and they just get it all like priced out correctly and stuff. And it's so efficient. It's better than GameStop, in which you just look at it, it's like 10 cents. It's like, but that's a full game. I bought it 2 days ago.
Oh, yeah.
10 cents.
I hate GameStop with a passion.
Yeah, they're so crappy to their employees also. Like, I like GT Games because it's like, they're all like a family. At GameStop, it's like, we got to get Deborah out because if she's not gone, one of us will get fired.
They'll skin you if you don't sell enough games.
Oh, there's all this kind of stuff that happens there, too. Like, I remember I was reading a article and stuff some guy wrote about there where he was talking to a guy that got fired from there. And one of the things that he says that they do is sometimes, like, if they're behind on certain pre-order, like, orders and stuff,
yeah,
they will change that like, another pre-order that has the over amounts. Like, for example, say, there's 2 games, like, Destiny 2, they have the pre-orders for that. And then there's Battlefront 2, and they got pre-orders for that. There's not enough Battlefront 2 pre-orders, but there's more Destiny 2 pre-orders.
Do they will change the pre-orders?
Yeah, they will take pre-orders from Destiny 2 and put them on Battlefront 2, so they will have more of those. And it will look better on the numbers lists and stuff for the different stores.
Oh.
So they will actually, like, change what you're getting. And then when you come, it's like,
So,
we made a mistake. We'll have to order a new one. You'll have to come back later.
So you pre-order Destiny 2 when you get Battlefront 2.
Yeah, and then it'll be like, this is what you ordered. It's like, no, it's not. Here's my receipt. It's like, oh, we're sorry for the mix-up. Please wait another week or 2.
God, I hate GameStop.
I just don't understand this whole like, company's thing was like, we have to have these specific amount of games sold every year. Like, specific games have to have, like, this amount of numbers sold or else, like, it's not good. So, like, if you ever go in there and you ask them, like, hey, what game would you recommend? They're never going to recommend a game they think is good. They're going to recommend games that are behind in numbers.
Yeah, basically.
It's so just weird, you know? It's like, here's a like company that's built up like, oh yeah, we're gamers for gamers, by gamers for gamers, kind of thing like that. But it's like,
for the people, by the people. Glorious revolution.
Glorious revolution. That's basically what GT Games is, because all those people actually know what they're talking about. I remember I was going to buy a game, and the guy's like, no, you don't want this one. It's garbage. You just threw it.
Sounds like communism.
But man, there's a lot of companies like GameStop nowadays, and it makes me sad. It's like, if you're behind on quota, you're the weakest link.
They just vaporize you.
Vaporize you. On to more happy topics. What do we got? What's another thing we can talk about?
Well, I'm sure the listeners want to hear a bit about Mord, since we have him on as a guest.
Yes.
How long have you been here as a parapro?
How long have you existed?
How long?
I've existed 43 years. At least in human years. 43 human years.
What about your astral form?
I'm not sure. Don't remember.
I don't remember before the birthing. So how long have you been here at CTC?
But I've been at CTC. This would have been my 5th year.
I know.
So not real long, but long
I know
enough.
my sister remembers you.
Yep. So that was my first year in film, which would have been 5 years ago.
Yeah, I think it was Gabs' last year.
Yep. It was either her. I can't remember if she was a junior or senior that year.
Might have been a senior. She's 21 now. She graduated when she was, I think, 17.
Okay.
So that'd be 4 years ago.
Yeah, so she would have been a junior then.
Yep. So.
And you were in plant science, weren't you?
I was a teacher in there for a year, and sort of the instructor in there took a year off, so that's what they filled. I was the
You were the substitute.
Yeah, a long-term sub.
So what did you go to college for?
So I took college so I'm like. The one reason I'm always sympathetic to you guys in terms of schooling is that school was not my favorite thing. So it took me, I started college over when I was 25. But I was an English lit major. But I took a ton of film classes because I don't know how they make that. It's in the same major. So that's kind of...
So I'm wondering, how do you go from English lit film student to plant science teacher?
Probably the same way how Briggs is our health teacher, to be honest. We're missing someone's like, this guy has teaching stuff.
Yeah, we had to have someone come in and teach us sex ed.
Oh God, our health teacher is horrible.
So she tells us about the dangers of going out into the sun between the hours of 10 a.m. and 4 p.m. because there's an increased risk of skin cancer.
Thing.
But she goes to tanning beds. She goes to tanning
the time.
Which
she
is the
gets
sun
fake
between 10 and 4, right?
Basically.
When she's not out in the sun between the hours of 10 and 4, she's inside tanning.
The thing that always gets to me is, she's our health teacher, but she argued with a diabetic student that they didn't need to take insulin.
Yeah. It was a girl who graduated a couple years ago.
Not Lacey, but Lacey's sister.
It was Tabby.
Tabby. There's a student named Tabby Beaver who has diabetes and needs to take a shot every so often for the insulin. Mrs. Briggs kept telling her, you do not need to take the shot. You don't need that. Go sit down. So the student's basically just dying. Like, actually dying. It's like, I need to take this shot. I will die. It's like, no. It's like, she's our health teacher. She teaches us about health.
Well, there's nothing in the textbook about needing to take insulin. Well, the textbooks are
decades
decades
old. We don't have a
old.
textbook, actually. That's another thing. All of it's
Do you
just
guys
like...
still have health as juniors and seniors?
It's
we don't
a
have
sophomore
home ec
class.
Oh.
We lost the home ec teacher for the health teacher. It was not a good trade deal.
Yeah. I had to take health last year, and there was like a whole unit on like interpersonal communication. Basically, we did worksheets on how to have a conversation.
Yeah. Our sexual education course was 2 days, just in the middle of, I think, semester 3. Not semester
It was pretty good, but it was pretty good.
Not for my class.
Okay, it was good for my class solely because she had someone from Planned Parenthood come in and tell us about birth control.
We had someone else come in who just so happened to be in the neighborhood and had a health degree at some point in their life. So it's basically just Mrs. Briggs, but they know one thing or two more. So she came in, she's like, so this is how we're going to do it. And they set up, I swear to God, this is exactly how they did it. They got these cards on the ground, and it's instructions how to put a condom on.
Yeah, we did that
too. But you had to play it like it was a game. That did not help me memorize
that too.
They
anything.
have a deck of cards to show how to
No,
put
it's
a condom
like
on.
it's like, you know, in kindergarten when it's like, what color is this? And they put like a red thing down. It's like, now organize them in the colors of the rainbow. It's like that, but for the instructions on the condom pack.
Yeah, no, putting a condom on a cucumber. You have to
Nothing
lay
like
out
that.
the cards.
Like, and anytime, my favorite thing was, she said, all right, students, like at the beginning of the unit, the entire health unit we had, sex ed unit we had in health. She was like, okay, students, from here on out, we're going to be very just kind of explicit with you about this stuff. So I want you to treat me like I'm your mother. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to ask me. First time someone asked a question, she's like, please go ask your mother. I don't know.
Oh,
And then,
I
like,
don't know if this is the same story, but there's a girl that I know.
No, that's another one. Rhea, yeah, she asked her, like...
She asked, this is a little explicit, but she asked what...
NSFW.
She asked what semen tastes like.
Yeah, and then Miss Briggs just looks at her, like, just piercing her eyes into her soul, like, ask your mom.
Okay,
and
so
that
I don't know if it was
can of worms.
I don't know if it was like, go ask your mom.
No, she like looked at her, like eyes just like sharp as knives. Just ask your mother.
Were you there?
And, yeah, I was in the back of the room.
Oh, I'm jealous.
I was sitting there watching the whole thing. Everyone's like, "Holy crap! What's gonna happen now?" The next day, Briggs was like crying because she was told she could get fired for doing that again.
Yeah, I heard she had to apologize and she was crying.
Yeah.
And the principal was there.
Yeah, I think it was Han at that point, right? Yeah, it was Han. So Han
what
was
did
just
she-
standing there.
So to me, that was a reasonable response.
Yeah, I know.
Potentially would have used
But
that.
like, it's the way she said it
Oh.
just sounded so much like she's just insulting. It's like, ask your mom.
Ask your
Walked
mom.
away.
Oh, got him.
It's like, there's better ways to word that and have a better tone with it. But Briggs always, whenever she talks, sounds like she's just underhandedly insulting you. It's like, I remember we did like a diet thing, and it's like, I'm so happy I got like that this, I eat a lot of food, a lot of junk food.
Really?
I mean, it's obvious. But I was so happy because I was like, oh my God, I'm finally under the amount I need to eat for a day. Like, I'm like doing good. And she's like, yeah. Like, very sarcastic sounding, like, mm-hmm.
Okay.
It's like, thanks, Briggs.
Okay, look at her whenever she's like you know, for like prom stuff, she's there.
Yeah.
Just, okay, so if she's standing next to like the principal or a teacher, someone who's talking, like giving a speech or something, and she's standing next to him, I guarantee she will 100% of the time have the most confused look on her face.
Oh, no, most definitely. Not even just like for prom stuff, just like anytime there's two teachers talking about stuff.
She's always
like,
standing there like...
I remember, if you watch, because you know how the teachers line up at the end of the basketball ring when we do the assemblies, when Briggs is standing there and two people start talking next to her, she just like... just looks so confused. Like, you know that scene in Pulp Fiction when John Travolta's like...
Oh, yeah, that...
Basically
That's her, just all in her
face. She's so confused about everything. It's weird. Another thing I love, though, about Benzie is our teachers, like... our principal's, like, scared of children.
Oh, yeah.
Like, anytime a kid comes up to him, you can just see the fear just raised in his face, just... Hello. Hi.
So, I'm curious. Mord, you're much older than us. No offense. Gavin's here.
Hey, open the door. We're having a long
Gavin,
conversation.
all right.
We have 4 minutes left.
Our other co-host, Gavin. has showed up.
Hello.
We've been going for a bit.
Yeah.
We were just talking about
fun.
our school.
Our school's
and
beautiful. Everything.
I went.
Our very great health class.
Very
And I was
nice.
just about to ask Mord. Mord, you're much older than us. No offense. What
little
was it? What was
offense.
it? What was it like back in your day?
Yeah.
Like how does it compare and contrast? I'm just curious.
How was the First World War on your family?
Yeah.
Wow.
When the Tsar of Russia got overturned, like, what did you think at the time? You, of course, being in college at the time, what did you think?
What was your health teacher's last name?
Briggs.
Briggs. So I think I'm about to take her tone.
Oh no.
What was that? Go ask your mother.
Go
Is that
ask
the
your
whole-
mother.
Yeah.
That's how I'm gonna answer that.
Okay.
Go ask your mother.
Gotcha.
Back in the day, let's see. Honestly, not all that different. We had way better music,
Oh,
but
Probably.
true.
I
Yeah,
mean,
that's fair.
one
but
of our
this-
number one hits is Sicko Mode.
Yeah.
by
I don't know
Some
what the
guy.
kids listen to these days. Honestly,
That's his name. He
His
legally
name's
changed
like
to some
Troy
guy.
or something.
okay. On the outside, I'm 17. On the inside, I am much older than everyone in this room. I don't know what the kids listen to these days,
I'm
and I
like-
don't care enough to find out.
I'm like 80. I cannot understand computers at all. It's
Whenever
like,
I
just
li-
control shift.
Whenever I
What?
listen to like today's greatest hits, I'm always like, "Is this what they listen to?"
Yeah, my house is just like a couple generations behind on the inside. And then you get to my room and it's like a mess, but then you find like the CDs I have and it's all just like Cab Calloway and stuff, like 20s greatest hits.
I
It's
have so
oh.
many layers of like old fashioned hipster in me
Oh,
that whenever I
gosh.
see other people that collect records, I'm like hipster. But I have a huge
You have a
record
huge
collection.
record
I have a huge
collection.
record collection, and I am so
Oh.
pretentious about it that if I see someone with one of those like cheap with one of those cheap Crosley like
You have
suitcase
to go full
turntables.
send on it, don't you? You have to like get a really good record. Like for you,
Yeah, yeah.
they're like either go big or go home. Get the like $5,000 record player with the OG '60s vintage Beatles records.
When I see someone with
or just don't even try.
When I see someone with a $60 Crosley Target turntable, I look at them and I see someone that can't commit.
Oh yeah, my mom brought a record player home the other day from my grandma.
I heard you say my mom, and I was like, oh no.
This,
Oh, my mom
This
can't commit.
record player is amazing because it's
Sorry.
actually from the 40s.
That's
All right.
amazing.
It's so vintage,
But you know what?
it's so clean stuff. Like my grandma takes care of like everything she gets and stuff, and this record player is so pristine. It's like we just bought it, but I know where it came from.
Okay, Crosley turntables, the modern ones that you can get at like Target, Walmart.
Oh yeah,
Kohl's,
yeah.
Those are straight trash.
Oh yeah. Oh
Let's
yeah.
get that
They
established.
look cool.
They're awful.
I
They
mean,
look
yeah.
pretty dope.
Okay, they
though.
cost like $60, $30 or $40 more. For $100, you can get a pretty
it's
decent.
11.20.
You can get a pretty decent entry
Hey, do
level
you want me to
turntable.
continue it with Mr. Mord?
Yeah.
I don't have. No, I can't. I've
Okay.
dedicated my time.
All right,
Where are
we'll finish up. We'll get Gavin's statement for this
By the way,
episode.
after this,
Tomorrow.
We'll get it in the part 2 of episode 2.
All right.
These
Will
are all just
you,
going to be
willing
two-parters.
to come in tomorrow for a little bit more.
Yeah, I can do a little bit more.
Thank you.
Follow
did
up.
you want to look at me?
Yeah, definitely.
All right, let's.
All
I
right,
gotta go get my
all right. We'll
phone.
see you. We'll see you tomorrow.
Yes.
Is it?
Y'all have a good.
Play.
All right, we're recording.
Are we recording?
All right, play us in, Gavin.
Man, I really hate Taco Bell. It gives me diarrhea and it burns my butthole when I poop. My butthole bleeds a little because it gets itchy from the hot sauce, and then it bleeds all over the bathroom. All over the bathroom. Bleeds all over the bathroom.
I feel like you
That was beautiful. Can we get some snaps? Can we get some poetry snaps?
No, he's not. He's just not.
Sorry.
All right.
I was trying to fix the shading.
We're back for
Hello.
part 2 of episode 2 of Bold of You to Say.
And I'm
Mr.
with the
Mord is
guitar.
currently out of the room.
Mr.
Yeah.
Mord
He
is
might
like.
not come back in.
Mr.
Mord, he said he would be in for a few minutes today. So right now we have no Mord, but we do have Gavin.
Looks like he's got better things to do.
Gavin brought his guitar.
Hi
Is
there.
it related to your birthday?
Ish. I knew Mr. Mord was leaving today.
Oh,
By the
yeah.
way, Mr. Mord is leaving today. On my birthday. What
Yeah.
a birthday gift.
It's his last.
Officially last day,
it's-
but like not really.
Yeah, it's like sort of his last day, and it's also Gavin's birthday.
Hi there. I'm officially 92. I was born March 8th, 19.
He's 92, so he doesn't remember.
It's hard to remember Alzheimer's.
How
Man.
were the bombs?
Oh, there's. I was gonna say something else.
Where were you when Pearl Harbor
Where were you in
happened?
Pearl Harbor?
I was flying the plane.
I just remember crashing into a bus.
So let's get up to speed now. So yesterday we were talking about Sing Street, and I said that I am an old man on the inside who doesn't like what the kids listen to these days. I'm a very grumpy old man. I'm loving this background music, by the way.
This is what we've always needed.
This is so wholesome.
This is like a dinner plate. He's just holding a dinner plate.
Yeah, right now Jared's drawing a.
Mushroom.
I feel like this should be a Folgers commercial.
This should be
Oh,
like
after-
this should be like a
Inception
this should be like a Chick-fil-A thing. I like chicken and I hate gay people.
Jesus.
It's Chick-fil-A talking, not
Chick-fil-A.
Gavin.
You
He's just
eat our
harnessing the
chicken,
power.
not the same sex's genitalia.
Jesus. I feel like that has to go in the extended
I have to keep
version.
this in like
Keep this
school
PG,
appropriate. That's why I didn't
man.
say other things.
We're not allowed to apply that.
Yeah.
That reminds me of this news story that I heard of like a couple days ago. There were some cops in Colorado that
Were they gay?
okay, there was this guy in his yard picking up garbage.
Did they arrest him?
Happened to be black. These cops, they were like, "Hey, what are you doing here? Do you have permission to be here?" And he was like, "This is my house, man." And they stayed there, and they were like, it was like a standoff. He was like, "I'm not armed. What are you doing?"
He just takes off his clothes, goes completely nude. He's like, I'm not armed. And they're like, you're nude though.
Public indecency.
And they arrested him and took away his house. And
What the
Now
heck
he's-
is up with
I
cops?
just think that is some refreshing, blatant racism.
oh yeah, just ooh.
I prefer racism that you can point at and say that's racism.
Yeah.
You know,
Nothing
times
gets me going.
Like a lot of times with these like cop things, it's always like
racism.
we don't know the full story
like
on one
it
side, so we don't
when a
know.
person
And this time around, it's like
gets
there's no full
classified
story. This
based
just
on
that guy was just
their
cleaning his
race.
house and got almost shot.
I like when people get arrested for things they wouldn't have gotten arrested for if they were white. If they were white. They were white.
Special guest Bo Burnham, everyone.
Thank you. Hello.
But anyway, I'm tired of times when you look at something and you say that's racist, and someone says, "Well, you know, you don't know what's going on."
Yeah, this time, however.
This time you can point at it and say, "This is racism." We can all be united in saying
That's
is
a
racist.
I know, but then there's always
There's
been like
going
a
to be
devil's
that one
advocate people who are
guy.
like, well, technically, even though black people make up 8% of the population, they make up 90% of the crime.
Which is a bullshit statistic.
No, it's actually it's true, but they get arrested more because they're racist cops.
Yeah,
That's
it's
also a good
like they
point.
say, oh, blacks are only 0.5% of the population, but they do 80% of the crime. I don't know what the statistic
It's
is.
something like that.
It's something
Yeah.
something wild and probably made up.
but like,
But like it's not because they commit more crimes, they just get disproportionately punished for it.
that's true,
They get
and
arrested.
they get harsher sentences for it.
Does anyone else hear the whistling?
We're doing the same thing at the same time. Well, that's why Paul McCartney made this song. Blackbird singing in the dead of night. Take these broken wings and learn to be incarcerated by people who are white. because you're black.
I see Mord walking around out there. I don't know if he's gonna come in.
This country.
Someone should go and talk to him.
Want me to
Mills just looked in and smiled at us.
Okay, should I go?
What a wholesome man.
Should I ask
So
Mr. Moore to get
wholesome.
his Patucci in here?
His Patucci.
His
Yeah,
Patucci.
you go sing to him.
Okay.
We have to
okay.
wait until the
Hey,
time is right.
Can you open the door, Jared?
I can open the door. We are opening the door.
Mr. Moore, please join us in this room where we're trying to do a podcast, but we don't have your presence. We're trying to make this entertaining, but without you, it's nothing. We need your presence in this room.
Dude, Chloe's
Presence
driving
in
out.
this room so we can be entertaining. Entertaining.
Mr. Moore's face.
Mord,
is
if you
not
don't come in,
changed.
he won't stop.
I won't stop. I'll make a mixtape and put it on SoundCloud.
Dear God.
I should rap.
5 more minutes.
5 more
we're
minutes?
closing
5
the
more
door.
minutes.
He said 5 more minutes, but we don't have that much time. There's only one more episode of this podcast, I think, maybe, I don't know, but he only has one more day, and that doesn't make me say him hip hooray, because he's leaving free country. Okay,
You want to be in a band?
do you actually?
Yeah, after we watched Sing Street, I was like, oh man, I want to form a band.
I have no musical talent, so
I
I've
go-
just been looking for people.
I go through this cycle where I watch a movie about a band, and then I want to form a band. I did that after I watched Bohemian Rhapsody.
I want to learn how to play the drums at some point.
Here's the thing. Like whenever I'm in like a formal like, okay, we set up everything. We want you to get up on stage and sing and play guitar. I get really nervous.
Oh, I know that feeling.
I can only like what I just did right now. I could only do because I was doing it in, like a slapdash kind of like hurry up, like no one cares kind of way.
Yeah, like a lackadaisy
All
kind
the
of thing.
all the pressure was off. So I was just like, Mr. Moore, please join us today, 'cause you're leaving tomorrow, and that makes me very sad. You know.
Yeah, like I do talent shows, and I always get so nervous.
Yeah.
Like starting like a couple days before, I get so nervous, and then right up until I go up, I feel like I'm gonna vomit.
Yeah, you know Ringo Starr still gets that too. Like he was doing an interview with like Stephen Colbert or something, and Stephen Colbert was like, "So, do you still get nervous on stage?" And he's like, "Actually, yeah. Before I get on stage, like I'm borderline going to vomit."
Oh yeah, Bill Hader is the same way.
Yeah. He's like, I'm going to borderline vomit, but then I get on stage and I'm super nervous, so I run over to the microphone, and the second I grab the microphone, I'm fine.
Yeah, I feel that.
Speaking about kind of stuff like that, you know, I'm Snow Coming King, right? And all that stuff, so we had to do the pictures.
Congratulations to Jared for being Snow Coming King yet again.
But either way, so they did the pictures and stuff for it, right? Like, you know, for the newspaper and stuff. And that was the most uncomfortable, awkward moment I've ever had. Because here we have, like, all of these kids are, like, the popular and stuff. And then there's me with the hat on, wearing, like, my big trench coat and stuff. Looking like I'm about to, like, start, like, shouting out random, like, rhetorics and stuff. I look like I belong in, like, Russia. And everyone else is like, hey, this is a school dance. Just dress casual. Here I am with my business suit, trench coat.
Business toot?
My business suit.
You have specific toots for business?
Exactly.
He eats like, he doesn't eat. Like,
I only eat green beans before I walk into a
He doesn't eat the low class Taco Bell. He eats the high class Qdoba.
I've never been to Qdoba. That's another thing.
It's okay.
All right.
It's okay.
Well, we have time. Gavin, do you have a bold statement for this episode?
Bold. Ooh, good one. Can I think for a second?
No, I
Give
don't
me
allow,
time.
I don't allow thinking
Give me
here.
Tim.
Didn't you hear?
Can I say like a bold statement that like most people would be like, what? But would actually be like, oh, that's true.
Okay.
That sounds very bold. Yes.
Okay.
This will be the first one that we actually say bold of you to say to. Because we haven't been doing
sure
that.
that
So,
I'm just completely
the U.S.
underwhelmed by it.
education system is actually making kids dumber.
Yeah, bold of you to say.
Yeah,
but like,
that's kind of true.
But like, if you were to tell a teacher, they'd be like, well, no, we're teaching kids no, you're teaching them how to write down things on paper. And then when an employer is like, so, can you do these tax returns? They're like, no.
Yeah.
Yeah, teaching, like, our education system, at least, from my perspective, the only thing that it teaches you how to do is just be a teacher, It teaches you to remember things for a test and then immediately discard
I feel like,
that
though,
information.
like, teaching and stuff, you remember the things you're teaching more than anything else. Like, Cupid knows a lot about history. I can talk to him about that stuff, because I like history, so I memorize a lot of things from it. And I can talk to him about history, and he enjoys it and stuff. But I can't talk to, like, Mrs. Kangas.
Kangas?
I hated her.
Who has the last name Kangas?
Mrs.
A teacher
Kangas.
that does not deserve to be a teacher.
Just like, what's up?
Bold of you to say.
My last name is a last name that sounds like it came off of the bottom of my foot.
Kangas.
Oh, look right there. That's
Kangas.
a Kangas.
That's my Kangas. It's like an Australian guy who's
Kangas
just been,
Khan.
like, in the rough.
Kangas Khan.
He's just been like, oh man, walking through this rough is giving me a rough Kangas.
Basically, she.
Oh my
was,
God, it's Kangas Khan.
It's Kangas Khan.
Kangas Khan.
Run for your lives.
Here's the amazing story about a teacher that ruined my life. So, Mrs. Kangas is the only teacher that I had, the second teacher that I've had, that has attempted to basically screw me over every chance I had. All because I asked, can you help me with something? Like, I asked her, like, hey, Miss Kangas, can you show me how to do this? Because I'm struggling with math. I'm not a good math person. Like, history's my strong suit. Numbers, no. But, so I'm talking to Kangas. There we go. I'm talking to Kangas. I was like, hey, Miss Kangas, can you show... Gross. Can you show me how to do this equation again? I don't remember. She's like, how? How do you not know this? It's like, Miss Kangas, I need help. No. Go sit down. You should know this.
You're just asking her to do her job. I don't get what the problem
I
is.
don't understand.
I'm asking you to do the job that my tax dollars pay for.
She was so just like bitter with me after that. She's like, he's wasting my time.
I think teachers as a whole are underpaid, but
True.
the
Kangas,
teachers
though.
like that, they should like just keep their pay where it is, and all the other ones should get their pay raised.
I think there are just some teachers who are like, like we all have like psychology teachers and then like history teachers and art teachers.
Our teacher is...
Yeah, two of those subjects taught by the same guy at our school.
Nice.
Yep.
It's
a lot of ways like that. I think every teacher has like English.
I have a theory on what made them them. So like, they went to college, right? And they're like, oh, I'm gonna do history. I'm gonna write an awesome book about history.
Right.
And I'm gonna get on David Letterman because this book is so interesting, right? And so they did the classes and they realized, oh, this is actually difficult. I'm going to try to squeak past this as fast as I can. And they got out, and then they were like, okay, well, let me try writing a book about something I'm interested in. And they realized, oh, wait, writing a book is difficult.
Yeah.
You have to have teams of people fact-checking and making sure you're right, and you have to do research, of which they don't have the money to do.
That's why I do podcasts.
Exactly.
No
but anyway,
checking.
they go, oh, well, I have this degree in history, and there's no other applicable thing for this, right? You can't go anywhere else with a history degree besides like teaching and university stuff or becoming like a researcher. So they go, okay, I'll go to high school then and teach there until I can get myself back on my feet. Then they realize, oh, I can't get myself back on my feet because I can't afford to go back to college because my job can't afford that.
Or worse, they fall in love with the job.
Or they fall. Sometimes there are teachers who are like, I actually love this, and that's awesome.
A lot of teachers that
I'm so happy
I
for them.
have, I feel like they genuinely feel passionate about it.
Totally, and that's awesome. But
we have one teacher. This is unrelated, but we have one teacher. His voice, it sounds like if Seth Rogen was doing a Kermit impression.
Oh, Seymour?
Yeah, Seymour. It's great.
He's got such a great voice.
I don't have like.
I want him to be a voice actor.
Really?
That's pretty much what he sounds like.
Pretty much.
Yeah. Whenever you show him something cool, he's like, "What?"
You know, it'd be funny if there's like a really high pitched girl who could like just talk, but it would be so high pitched that it'd just be basically a dog whistle. So it's just like
doesn't register.
She's just talking. She's just going like.
The dog's
and the dog's sitting there like, God dang! Ah!
The dog is actually.
The dog's in like a straight jacket going like. It's like she's looking at him like, oh, come here, little puppy, but she can't really. No one can hear it except for the dog, and he's like, no, get away from me.
Jeez,
that's a bit loud, yeah. Just a bit loud, guys.
A little bit.
I wonder if these vents are putting this into other classrooms.
You think the IT people are just
Like, what the
what are
hell?
they filming?
All they can hear is, no!
Get away from me!
It's a good thing you can see into this booth. Because I don't know
Guys,
what
has
they
it
would
been more than
think.
5 minutes?
It's been 16 minutes.
Alright, can you open up the door again?
Okay.
Well, it's been 16 minutes that we've been recording. It's probably been 5 minutes. Start singing.
Mr. Moore, it's been more than 5 minutes.
God dang it.
You said you'd be here by now.
He's just not gonna show
Mr.
up
Moore,
now.
please show us that you respect our craft. That's all I got. I've run out of lyrics. Good night, America. I hear him.
I was just gonna say I hear
I
him
hear
talking.
him. That's it.
Mr. Moore's just like, I've given up on them.
These guys. Oh.
I mentioned this in the first part, pretty early on. You weren't there, but we were going over our favorite memories with Mord, and I mentioned that one time at Art Prize. I don't know if you remember.
Yeah, you said love BJ.
Yeah, I was like, did you know that LBJ is Spanish for the BJ?
Mr.
And
Morgan's
Mord just blocked that memory apparently because he was like, I don't know, I don't remember that. And I was like, I think that's on purpose. You were trying not to laugh.
Love BJ. LBJ. Man,
Love
LBJ
BJ.
was actually getting it on like Donkey Kong.
Oh, yeah.
Like more than Kennedy. Like Kennedy was
Dude,
like
LBJ is he's a Me Too story that never happened.
he's a Me Too story that was never publicized, mostly because he's dead. But
Man, LeBron James.
Hey, spoiler alert! I
totally
didn't read that
incredible.
far in the history book.
yeah, isn't it funny how like they tell us about like LBJ civil rights movement blah 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 blah, but they're never like by the way he was getting it on like Donkey Kong in the White House like on the desk, like he wasn't even like he at least Kennedy was like come into the bedroom and we'll sort things out. LBJ was like just lay down on this desk.
Which one was LBJ again?
The fat guy.
You'll have to be more specific.
Yeah.
There's the fat guy that died in his bathtub.
He
That's
didn't
my
die, he
favorite
got
one.
stuck in it.
Who died in the bathtub?
I thought there was one that died in this bathtub.
No, it was just William Taft. He got stuck in the bathtub until they had to increase the size.
They made it out of
They
copper.
had to increase the size.
Here's a history fun fact. Taft really did not want to be president, so
He
his
didn't.
presidency was just a mess.
Dude, I'm convinced that Trump didn't want to be president. I think he just did it like
as a joke.
just as a tantrum.
Well, he was here's like what happened. He was like making fun of Obama. He's like, Obama was the worst president. Blah, blah, blah. And CNN
And then-
kept on being like, well, if you think he's a bad president, you run for president then. You run for president. And he's like, okay, fine, I will. And then he did.
Dude, what I think did it was
And he
one.
won.
It was. I think it was one. I think it was a State of the Union speech or some speech that Obama was giving, and he like called Trump out. And he was like, you'll never be. Let me be clear. You will never be the next president of the United States. I don't do a good Obama, but I do a passable Obama. I think.
a pass on.
Hi, Mills.
Hello, Mr. Mills.
Guest star for part 2 of this episode is Mr. Mills. Say hello, Mills.
Hello.
There's Mr. Moore finally.
Mord's here.
Yeah, there it is.
Don't walk
I
away.
was walking
Oh, he's
away,
walking away.
just like my dad did when I was 12 years old.
Jesus.
He left without a word, went out for a pack of smokes, and never came back. That's a lie, by the way.
I was going to say, Gavin, is this something you want to tell us?
My dad's a very fine man.
Mine's not, as we discussed yesterday.
Oh, man, we have some really bizarre family. I love my family.
Wait! Mr. Moore, you're back.
Gavin, time to come off the stage a little bit.
Okay. I'm sorry.
Well, I mean, there's 20 other people out there, right?
Yeah.
Did you get that? Because I
Yeah.
want that in the podcast.
Yes, we have.
Let me put this
We're not going to
guitar
cut that out. All right, let's get this show on the road.
So I'll give you till 10:15.
10:15.
Okay.
All right, 6 minutes. We're gonna make the most of it.
All
All right.
What were we saying before?
I don't remember.
Mr. Moore, what's your favorite ice cream?
Butter pecan.
Nice.
Butter
Why?
pecan?
It's boring.
Nice.
Wow.
Wow.
And that's all.
It is, well, one, you can go to multiple places, and they can serve all different brands and types of ice cream, and butter pecan is pretty consistent. And so...
Is it because it's so simple?
And
That
that is,
you
like,
can't
boring.
mess it up?
Right.
Is it like cheese pizza? You can't, like...
Yeah, I've
it's
had
pretty
some
difficult.
messed up cheese pizzas, though.
Really?
You ever had a
It's
pizza
surprisingly-
where like you
the
lift it up
crust,
and it
the
just
crust.
Oh, really?
slides off?
Crust
It's
through.
all in the crust.
Yeah.
You can have the best ingredients, but if you have a
The
bad
worst crust, yeah.
then it's all ruined.
I remember I had the worst pizza the other day. I picked it up and all of it just kind of.
It just fell off.
Yeah.
Oh, was it school pizza?
No.
Surprised.
I think I cooked it wrong.
Speaking of...
Oh, you
school
made
stuff,
it?
Yeah.
Oh.
Have you guys...
Did you like make it like all yourself, or was it like a frozen pizza?
It was a frozen pizza. I've had homemade.
How do you make
pizza.
a frozen pizza wrong?
I burnt pizza rolls. Okay, I don't know. These hands destroyed.
So you heated it up incorrectly, is I think what?
I think
You know what? My uncle one time,
Alex
he was
is
trying to make a
trying to
frozen
say.
pizza.
it was all
No idea.
cooked. It just fell apart.
My uncle one time was trying to make a frozen pizza, and he does not cook, apparently. And so he took out the pizza, put it in the oven, but forgot to take the plastic wrap off of
If you
it.
make
Oh,
a frozen
I've
pizza,
had
you
that.
still
Put
don't
it-
cook.
He just put it in the oven at 350
So
for
that
15
those are the
minutes.
people that why the stupid you need to take the plastic off before heating.
Otherwise, it tastes really difficult.
I did that once.
It tastes really
I would
difficult.
say that.
My worst pizza experience, it was the last day of school two school years ago. We were having like a little party, me and some friends. We were in Briggs's room. We were playing Smash. We were playing Smash Melee, and we got pizza from I think it was Papano's.
Oh, that's the best one.
And we got the like garlic crust. It was so salty, I could not stand it. But I was hungry, and I wanted pizza. So I tried to power through, but it ruined salt for me.
My
I eat
parents
a lot
told
of
me
salt, so
If I think of salt, I gag a little.
I spoon-fed him salt once. After
Yeah,
blinding
Jared
him.
spoon-fed me
That
salt
also
after
might
blinding
be-
me.
That might also be why you have issues with salt.
I've had far too many traumatic experiences with salt.
I just
No,
thought
one
you
time-
needed some medicine.
One time, Jared, you had your
God.
gloves, right? And
Yeah, my first pair of gloves. I lost the second pair.
You
Also.
lost-
I don't know where those went, so I gotta find another pair.
so anyway,
Oh,
we were messing around. You were like, I challenge you to a duel, and you like
I
slapped me
slapped
with
him in the eye.
and my eye was open, and you grazed my eye,
with like this really
Dude, did you graze
rough
the man's
yarn
ball?
glove. Jesus.
and you blinded me temporarily. And then I was like, we were still messing around. I was like, Jared, give me some heroin. I don't know what the context was for that, but
it
you're
was,
like,
plague
were-
doctors.
How
Plague
long did you
doctors.
oh, plague doctors, because plague doctors.
Yeah,
use
because they like every single diagnosis
Wait,
is like, oh,
not
you
have
got
kids,
ghosts in
have
your blood.
kids,
Here's
and
some
then
cocaine.
fucking grow up.
So
While
anyway,
you're working here? I'm sorry, I had a tangent conversation with Mr. Miller.
all right, I'm gonna finish what I'm saying, and then
I'm
I
sorry.
want to hear what you're saying.
Yeah, I'm sorry, my bad.
So anyway, then Jared spoon-fed me salt, and
Well, he was
Make your eye
blind.
better.
no, it worsened the situation actually, if you can imagine. So anyway, don't
I
trust
thought it
Jared
was
with
a good
spoons.
idea. Oh god.
I put my guard up whenever I see Jared with a spoon now.
Just pulls a spoon out of my pocket.
He threatens to spoon feed me salt to this day.
I do.
I can just imagine Jared with like straw fulls of salt. He just like staples off the ends and fills the straw with salt.
Dude, he would give me a pixie stick filled with salt. He would if he. I shouldn't have given him the idea, but I'm saying
That's
he
a
would.
good idea though, for real.
Do you think there's a
would
there's
think
a low
that?
sodium version of salt like Splenda?
That would
Low
just be
sodium
that would
salt,
just be
it's
chlorine.
Just chlorine. It's like drinking chlorine. This is
Low
some good
sodium salt is just chlorine.
This is some good diet
Guys,
salt.
the people in World War I had it down in terms of diets.
Jesus.
So anyway, what was your guys'
Yeah,
tangent conversation?
I was asking Mr. Mord here how long he'd been here. He said 5 years, which, I mean, good job.
Yeah.
You made it this far.
You made it this far. So, have you have you gone from being like not having kids to having kids all within like this one job?
No.
Okay.
No. I have 3 kids. One's 12, and then 2 are. When I started this job, we had a son right the summer before I started this job, and then 2 years ago, our daughter was born.
Oh.
Nice.
Two that only know me as working here. So, I'm a great guest.
What did you do before this?
What did I do before this?
Yeah.
You've had worst.
I've done all sorts of things because I was in college a lot, so I had a lot of crazy jobs. Speaking of pizza, I delivered Papa John's pizza.
Nice.
Oh, that's some good pizza.
Have you guys seen the awkward commercial with Papa John's?
The awkward
He
commercial.
he ordered pizza from his own place to his mansion, and he had this like
with his son
delivery
Bo.
boy, yeah, this delivery boy who comes to the mansion. He's like, "Hi, you have a pizza?" And he's like the CEO of Papa John's, and he's just like, "Here's a pizza," and the guy's like, "Oh, hey, come in," you know. And it's really awkward. It's,
And his son Bo was there, and he's like, "Bo in the house."
Oh.
And he was like teaching him how to order online, right?
Oh my god,
It was his son Bo teaching the CEO how to order online.
something like that.
The CEO was like, "Here's my son Bo," and the Bo was like, "Bo in the house."
Was he
I'm
just
sorry, as you
uncomfortable?
were
It's like,
saying,
No.
Papa John's.
Oh, yeah. So I've done that. You guys, I think you're old enough. But Blockbuster Video.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
oh yes.
There's still one in
Australia.
No, not Australia.
You fool! You think Australia exists?
But there is one in Australia.
There's one still in Alaska.
I think I heard
There
about
is,
that one.
yeah.
Why
'cause
is
they don't
it,
have
like-
internet's so expensive there that like
Basically,
having just a
wastelands
rental store
have
there is less
Blockbusters.
expensive than having internet.
Can we just talk about this for a second? Alaska and Australia are just basically 2 climate wastelands. Like,
Well,
for real, like, if you think about it, it's like, both places, everything just wants to kill you. And the people are, like,
sounds like my parents'
really
marriage.
enthusiastic about it. It's like you go to Alaska,
Imagine
like, oh
choosing
yeah,
to
this
live
is a
there.
nice place to live. The bears are calm this time of year. Go to Australia, it's like, yeah, the spiders aren't raining this time, so it's good. We're good. It's like, those are the worst places to live, and I want to live both there.
That's pretty good.
So anyway, I don't know if this is the same
Uh.
story, but I heard about there's a Blockbuster somewhere where like the lady that runs it, it's like fully independent because the
Is it a
Blockbuster
franchise?
Corporation doesn't exist anymore.
Yeah,
Oh.
it's gone.
It's just it's all dissolved. So it's an independently owned Blockbuster, and the lady like goes to like Walmart and stuff, and she buys DVDs,
She
and then
sells
she
the
rents them out.
DVDs.
She like rents them out at her Blockbuster, and it's
That's
like
awesome.
it's a successful business. Like she's staying afloat surprisingly.
Netflix should do the same thing.
So what is she
Yeah,
doing
Netflix
about,
should
like-
start mailing out DVDs.
Yeah, I think they should start mailing out DVDs.
To people that don't have internet.
I don't understand.
Gosh, guys. You know what? Instead of having cell phones, we should just have like these phones that like mount to the wall.
I think it should just be a
Instead.
network of cans and strings.
I like your idea better.
Guys, I don't know why we don't just make like planes are made out of metal. That's really heavy. If we just made them out of like sticks and canvas.
Sticks and canvas.
Sticks and canvas.
Skits. It's made of
Skits and
skits.
canvas.
Okay, yeah.
We have to hire SNL writers to make the skits to make the airplanes.
Made out of old scripts for jokes.
Just takes all these papers, just throws it at the plane. Anyway. Oh man. Anyway, what was your other jobs?
I used to work with the mentally ill.
Oh, you can't joke about that.
Yeah, yes, you can. And
You can, just don't do it poorly.
That's why he's working. Oh, that's why.
Right.
Is that why you're working with me?
yes,
Okay.
That's why I'm here.
well prepared, well equipped to work with you.
So what did you? What did
I
you
did
do
hear
with
that
them?
you used to work there.
Yeah, so I worked a couple different places for that because it was a fun job. When I was 19 was the first time I worked for a mental hospital.
You're
I worked
my
with
age.
yeah.
Oh, you're 19.
Yeah.
Nice.
Whoa. You
So I worked
wanted
with like preteens, and that it was like an inpatient unit. So we would get patients or kids for a short time, normally like 7 to 10 days. And then there's other times I worked for residential places, which was tough because the kids lived there, and so it was a weird
experience.
Yeah, because they would live there for like 2 or 3 years, and hardened criminals. Scary. But my last night I ever worked for a place like that, it was night shift, and six young men decided to stay up all night long and just it was anarchy.
Oh.
Is that when you decided it was your last night?
Yep, because I got the 3 of them jumped me, and then
Jesus.
Yeah.
Like with knives and stuff? Like,
No, they didn't have.
With their hands.
No, but they were big guys.
Yeah.
And then a few others. You know how the sprinkler systems hang down from the ceiling?
Did they
well,
rip those
they
off?
realized no, but if they were taking their shoes off, and if they hit it just right, it would go off, and it would. So we had to call 911 to get them restrained. And
that's
I
not
was like,
kosher.
I'm out.
I'm just gonna
I'm
go.
too old for this.
So
I wanna go
what
work
did you
with
do there?
less
What was your
unstable
job?
children.
So when I worked night shift, it was basically just making sure everybody was safe and sleeping, and then I would do paperwork. But it's a good college job because you can get a lot of work, like reading done. But during day shift, you do a lot of the programming, and so you're kind of hanging out with them and taking them to, group therapy and all that. Which, it's a necessary. People need to do that.
Yeah, what kind of group therapies do you take them to, anyway?
So let me think. So the residential is a little different because they're really comfortable with one another and they're on each other's nerves. So they kind of become like they're all like siblings, and they kind of constantly there's all this infighting, and they all have these effed up home lives. So they bring all that baggage then to these other relationships. So the group therapy is there's not a whole lot that gets done. And the inpatient stuff, the therapist a lot of times will work through, they'll talk in generalities because, a lot of the stuff is pretty personal and people don't necessarily want to air out their dirty laundry with strangers. So,
Yeah.
I don't know. It makes you grow up.
Yeah, no doubt.
And no, I mean, I don't know all of you guys, but your home lives, like, all gets put in perspective. Like, you might be shitty, but I promise you someone else has a shittier. I can say that.
He's a teacher.
Yeah,
I say
he's
that,
an adult.
and I'm a farmer, and shit is not a bad word in the agricultural industry.
Yeah, it means fertilizer.
That's all it is.
It means the ground which the shrooms will grow.
Does it actually mean fertilizer?
Shit is used as fertilizer, yes.
Yeah.
Well, I didn't know if it was like a nickname for something else.
No.
Because in film, things are named after things that aren't those things.
Yeah, that's what. So what else could that be on the farm?
Shiny handles.
I don't know. I don't work on a farm.
Shiny handles.
No, but let's think.
Sugar, honey, iced tea.
What's the H stand for?
Sugar, honey, iced tea.
Yeah. That's a great fertilizer.
Just walk outside to like your corn, just drink it up.
Drinking some shit. Ah.
Alright,
So
it
what,
could
do
just
you know
be-
what the difference between therapy and counseling is?
Is this a joke or?
No, I'm just curious. I'm legit
I
curious.
think counseling, like,
Is therapy?
They're really
I think-
similar, and I
Isn't
don't.
therapy like more long term? Like you come back more? Like it's a recurring
isn't
thing?
counseling like more like you go to them and therapy, they go to you?
No.
Mail order.
Knocking the door. Hi there. Are you messed up in the head?
Door to door
Most
therapist.
counselors are therapists, right?
Yeah.
I would imagine.
I think
I
so.
would hope. Because it'd be weird.
I don't know if there is a difference.
Is it like all therapists are counselors, but not all counselors are therapists?
Alright. Are they
Because
at
like
a
they're school
school?
counselors.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are they
Are they
like-
at a school? Then
Are
it's
they
a
like the thumbs
counselor.
of psychology?
No, it's a therapist.
Is that it?
Therapy might be like an actual like part of your treatment, and counseling is more like I need to get some things off my chest. I don't know.
Gotcha.
I don't know.
Seems
I
like
think
a
they
very-
might be the same.
Sounds like
Bless
a
you.
very gray
Jesus
area.
Christ. Oh,
That was
Did you
intense.
need a tissue?
no, I'm good.
You caught most of that with your shirt.
Yeah, I know.
Unfortunately, on the inside.
Can we just get a
No.
towel? Just wrap
I
it
might
around.
need that tissue just to clean out the inside.
Can we get like a feed bag, like for a horse, just to catch his sneezes?
I don't know what's going on. I
Like
think
a
it's because
muzzle?
I keep turning
Yeah,
on
like a
that
muzzle.
fan in my room because I like the sound it makes, but it makes my room really cold. So I think I'm getting sick because of that. I think this is like either too much dust or it's just really cold.
Here,
It
this
might
is-
be the
This
dust.
is off the podcast, but do you go back and edit this?
I
Chop
do.
it up.
Yeah, I have to.
They're long. They get really
The last
long.
the last one I have an extended cut of it. It's like an hour.
Don't we
That's a
go
lot.
on a tangent about fat people for like 30 minutes?
The last time we spent like half an hour at least talking about Star Wars.
Oh
Well,
yeah,
I-
I know.
I
Star
listened to a lot
Wars.
of that.
Man, Boba Fett though, seriously,
Phoba Batman.
what they do to him?
I don't understand that why some seemingly just these side characters all of a sudden get this fan base. Like, why does that happen?
like
'Cause
guy
they
with
run
the
out of
ice cream
ideas.
machine.
Why? No, but even like, okay, so the original Star Wars, like all of a sudden, you see Boba Fett like
Twice.
His first appearance
so
is in
how
the
does he
Christmas
become
special.
so-
Because he
how does
looks
become
cool.
So popular.
Because he looks cool.
That's it.
Yeah.
There's, like,
That's
this-
basically
he has this huge cult
He
following.
dies like in the most just
No.
just
And then they bring him back. in
crappy
the books.
way. Yeah, they bring him back in the books, and
Yeah,
it's so.
I mean, in Return of the
great.
Jedi, it's like gets eaten by that thing in the sand.
By
and
the
that's-
He
giant
gets poked in the
mouth.
back with a stick.
A blind
Then
guy
he-
hits him and he dies.
Basically.
That's what happens. But they like the people who are like, this guy looks cool. Let's make him a character. And they write these books, and they always have him come back, and he's always like this really big guy. Like he's either like some like over the
physically
top.
big?
No, like big as in like he's
I
like
think they should make him
some
physically
ultimate badass kind
Every
of character.
appearance, he gets
And
incrementally bigger.
I always like that though because it's like they say in the movies and in the like the books that they have, the encyclopedias and stuff. It's like Boba Fett, he's the most feared bounty hunter in the galaxy.
Is he?
You watch the movies, it's like how? It's like I'm more
Must be
scared of the
Slim
robot that
Pickens.
was just standing
You know what I
there.
really want to do? Like, if I were ever in the Star Wars universe, I'd go there with a Sharpie marker and make little cat whiskers on Boba Fett's mask.
On his
helmet.
helmet.
On his little helmet. And be like, you're a
Little
cat
ears.
now. More like Boba Pet.
Then he would like try to go after you. All you have to do is poke him in the back with the
All I have
stick.
to do is throw some
Once.
kitty. Some,
That's his Achilles heel.
His Achilles heel, his jetpack just explodes whenever you touch it. Just it's like, as long as I'm looking at them, they can't hit me. That's why he's so good at his job. It's because if they get behind him, he dies.
well, wouldn't you die too? Because you would stab it and it would explode. But you're like,
Yeah, it's covered in missiles and it like malfunctions all the time. So I mean, there's a problem.
You gotta poke it the right way so it goes off and you just.
maybe he's like one of those dads who's like, we're not gonna buy a new one. We're gonna fix the one that we have.
Because isn't the his armor and jetpack the same ones that Jango Fett had that also were messed up?
I think
in
it's all the
movie?
same stuff. I think it's
Jango
all the
Fett's
same
like,
stuff.
Dad, we should just get a new jetpack. Okay, this is like borderline gonna kill you. Someday you're gonna fall into some sand, to some creature's mouth. He's like, we're gonna fix this one and it's gonna work. It's gonna work fine. He's like, Dad, a blind guy can just tell it's gonna.
Even a blind guy can tell this is a
That would
bad
be some
idea.
great foreshadowing.
Just like, Dad.
Uh,
I think Boba Fett would be a good dad.
no, he's
I
dead, so
know.
probably not.
I think he'd be okay.
I mean, he
I
always
don't think
just.
Jango Fett is a good dad.
I think
mean,
he'd be the kind of dad who's like, listen,
Yeah.
violence is never the answer. I just take money to do violence. I'm not invested emotionally in this.
No, I remember though. I had this book. This like actual like Lucas Arts was like, this is a good book. This is the backstories and stuff. It's like of all the bounty hunters in Empire Strikes Back, and Boba Fett's is the most over the top. Like they have like. All of them have this over-the-top backstory for, like, this 1 5-second clip of them just standing there doing nothing. And I love it. Like, there's even, like, books and stuff of, like, some of, like, the just random, like, extras. Like, my favorite one is there's a guy in Empire Strikes Back on, like, the Cloud City who, in one scene, just runs across it wearing, like, he's got, like, this blue outfit on, but he's holding onto an ice cream machine. Apparently, this man is very important.
They're all important
They're
in their
all
own
important.
special way.
I just love that. Like, You know the scene in the sixth one where they got like all the people in the war room for the rebels, and they're all the aliens and stuff. Every single character there has a name and an incredible backstory. Every single one of them.
I fully believe that within 5 years the Star Wars franchise will collapse.
It's just gonna implode on
Just
itself.
like
There's
the American
so
economic
much
system.
stuff.
Because The Last Jedi was awful, but that was because you had a director that was taking like J.J. Abrams.
Yeah,
he set
like,
it. He made
set up a lot
he
of
wrote the
stuff.
whole trilogy. He wrote the whole trilogy, and then they had Rian Johnson come in and rewrite all the stuff that he had written for the next movie.
Let's just talk about the how the story goes. So, first movie, you build up your villains. Second movie, you just kill them all.
You just kill them.
There's only
You
two
just
left.
kill them in the
and
second
they're
act.
the least likable. Like you got the one guy who's just very not fit to lead anything, and then this guy who's just
like
a punching
both of them.
bag. Like Hux, he might have some potential, but we don't know because anytime he gives a suggestion, he just gets punched. It's like, hey, I'm the leader of this army. Maybe we should listen to me. He's like, no. I've got the glow stick of doom. Sit down.
And then there's this like purple-haired lady who's like,
oh yeah, who doesn't tell anyone anything, then just kills everyone on that one ship. I don't trust anyone. There could be a spy.
it reminds me of that one scene from Rick and Morty where he goes to that one planet where there's all the women. There's only women. Do you guys know? Do you guys watch Rick and Morty?
Which season?
Yes.
I think it's season 2. But they go to this one planet where it's only like women, and they're like men are slaves, only used for reproduction.
The Gazorp?
Maybe
dudes?
Gazorp.
Sounds like an episode of Futurama.
It's an amazing show.
It's a great
It's
To
so
be fair,
creative.
you have to have a very high IQ to understand Rick and Morty.
But like Rick just farts, and they're like, "You made the sound that shall never be made," and they're like, "You're condemned to death by death."
Death
by death.
Oh, I
they
hate
just
that
have this
sentence.
cliff.
How
they
direct.
just have this cliff with a boulder on top of it, and Rick is like, "Oh, how clever! We're gonna tip over this rock on top of me." And she's like, "No, it's gonna hit a button, and that will." Yeah, you're right. We're gonna throw it off the cliff on top of you. I just didn't want to admit you were right. It's the same thing in Star Wars, where she's just like, "I don't have a plan, but I don't want you to be right."
Yeah, if they would just let someone with a vision take over the franchise, like J.J. Abrams, he wrote out the whole thing. If you just let him do his trilogy, then it would be fine. But you can't just have a different director with a different vision take over midway through the larger story.
Like, this guy, what was his name? James something? I forget it.
James Galifianakis.
The director of The Last Jedi?
Yeah.
Rian Johnson.
Rian Johnson, this guy. Like, even like what he has set up for the story in that movie doesn't
Rian
work
Johnson,
out
we're
in the
calling
real
you
world.
out.
Because like, no offense to Carrie Fisher and stuff, but she's dead in real life.
Yeah, no offense, but she's dead.
She's around
But,
the
like,
ground right now.
He sets
Can we
it
have
up to where she's
no,
gonna
she was
return in the
alive.
next movie.
Can we have a moment
How
of
are they
silence
gonna
for
do
Carrie
that?
Fisher?
Yes.
Thus concludes the moment of silence for Carrie Fisher. May
How
she
are they
be
gonna bring
remembered.
Carrie Fisher back for the last movie?
They're gonna take her ashes
They're
and just
gonna
make it into
dig
a
up her
loose-
grave, I guess.
loose figure.
They're gonna dig up her grave, prop her up like Weekend at Bernie's.
She didn't. She was actually cremated, but this is the funny part. She had her urn be a Prozac pill. A Prozac pill.
I love Carrie Fisher.
She's great.
She's so great.
Oh, that's smart.
We've all heard of the Star Wars Holiday Special, right?
Yes.
The first
This
appearance of Boba
atrocious
Fett, of
movie.
course.
Have you heard of it, Mr. Mark?
No.
It's
We need to show him the
wonderful.
Holiday Special.
Oh, I don't want to make him sit through that. I want him to like us.
People need to see this film. Either way, this movie is so bad that Carrie Fisher says that during house parties when she wants her guests to go home, she just puts that on her TV and they just run. It's so bad. It's like one of those like sitcoms where like everyone's in the house and stuff getting ready for Christmas, but it's all Wookiees and there's no subtitles.
And it just...
So it's just a bunch of people going, oh, just gargling. And then this old guy comes in and just starts like messing with their stuff.
And there's like a
And
VR...
they're just
There's a
okay
VR
with
thing.
it.
And
Oh,
one of the
yeah.
old man Wookiee watches like some weird softcore Wookiee porn on it.
Are we
It's
allowed
a-
to say that?
It's a
This was a family movie.
When was this on TV?
Like
it was
19
right after the first one.
It was like 19.
There was another. This was a. This,
Like it was right after the first
yeah,
movie.
and then there was
Oh,
the Ewok
they made two of
Adventures.
them.
No, there's
I
another
remember the
bad.
Ewok Adventures.
Yeah, Ewok Adventures. Didn't they have like this really weird sock puppet worm thing?
I don't remember that part.
I remember though. Everyone's like the two worst things that come out of Star Wars were the Christmas special and Ewok Adventures. Is all I've heard bad things about.
I've never
And
heard of
also
Ewok
the
Adventures.
trilogy. The what is it? The prequels.
The prequel.
Yeah. People talk crap about those three the most. The Ewok Adventures was like after episode 6, I think, in which it's like this family crash lands on the planet Endor, and they just kind of go on adventures with the little teddy bear people.
Right.
And that's the Ewok Adventures.
I would love to hug
like,
an
what is
Ewok.
it? They're
Wow.
trying to like rebuild their ship to go home.
I would give an
Something like
Ewok a
that.
good
It's like
bear hug.
Subnautica, except instead of fishes, it's just teddy bears with
I
spears.
just want to hug an Ewok though.
Also, another
I
thing
feel
that
that.
we don't bring up: the Ewoks probably ate the stormtroopers after.
Oh yeah, they
hunting
for
them.
sure ate the
Yeah.
stormtroopers. We went over that in the pilot episode.
Did we? Yeah, we did.
Yeah,
But for real though,
they have the helmets. Where are the heads?
where are the people?
They were seriously
They were
about to
gonna
cook and
eat
eat.
Han Solo.
They
Guys,
were about
Ewoks
to cook and
is
eat
people.
Luke Skywalker and Han Solo. You think they wouldn't do that? Do you think they would have reservations about doing that for stormtroopers?
Oh, they're just the guys that tried to kill us all.
They'll eat either side.
They'll eat any-
They
They
came
don't
close
care.
to eating Princess Leia.
They don't care about
But
your
she
political
had food and gave it to
affiliation.
them.
Yeah, a Wicket was gonna eat Princess Leia, but she gave him a cracker. What's this?
Oh.
Saltines.
You shall be spared.
Okay, you know,
Alright, you guys.
you gotta go.
I do have to go.
It is 10:36.
I gave you.
He gave
More
us
than
extra
enough
time.
time.
21 more minutes.
Thank you, Mr.
Thank
Bard.
You're welcome.
Thank
How long
you
is
for
this
being
podcast?
We
I
don't
was gonna-
know.
My name, sorry.
It's okay.
I have to cut it down to half an hour for
Half
Bernstein.
an hour.
And then
And
and then
then
Right
we're
now,
gonna-
how long is it right now?
2
Uh,
hours.
40 like close to 50 minutes
And then
for
combine
this
that
for
with
this
the
half.
next one.
For this
Yeah.
half?
For this
Part
half.
2?
Part 2.
We upload the full things on, what is it?
I'm gonna put it on iTunes.
iTunes.
It's really easy to put podcasts on iTunes.
It's good to know.
You're gonna follow it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you.
All right, that was
Oh,
Mr.
that
Mort,
is our-
everybody.
That is our best guest yet.
Oh, that was fun. We should bring him in again.
Gavin, you're keeping a list of guests, right?
No.
I
Who's next? Eric? Yeah, let's just get him in here right now. Hey, Eric.
no, I want to see if we can have Mr. Canan pushed up to
Next guest?
yeah, maybe next guest or like
I
after
wouldn't
next guest.
mind that.
And I
We
wanna
have
have
a
Josh-
really awesome teacher.
Nice.
Yeah, and I want to have Josh Stoltz on for an
Oh, we should have
episode.
them both on. Have them compete. Which after-school program is best? Seeds or grow benzene?
Seeds or the one that we have because we
Guys,
couldn't have
I need
seeds.
to like upload my video.
You can go.
I
Me
need
and
to-
Alex
I need
will
to-
carry
Alright.
on.
All right,
Gavin
play
has
us
to
out.
leave
Play us out, Gavin.
temporarily.
Okay, hang on.
You're gonna play us out, but Alex, this is our time to shine.
Are you ready?
Yeah.
Yes. I'm sorry.
I hurt myself today to see if I still feel.
Why is this the song we play out with? What the heck?
So you think you can tell? Pink Floyd, Wish You Were Here.
Yeah, you just said 2 lines.
From hell.
You should play Dimly Lit Illuminati Room, the one that you were doing before.
Okay, let me actually make like a beat to it.
Is that an actual song, or did you make that up?
He made it up. We made it up together.
That's beautiful.
I gave him the name.
There we go. Dimly lit Illuminati room. Dimly lit Illuminati room. We do a lot of naughty things in the Illuminati room. I don't know, that's all I got.
All right, this has been Bold of You to Say, Episode 2, featuring guest star Mr. Mord.
That's bold of you to say. We're not done yet. We don't have anything planned.
We'll do a little.
And we have 15 minutes.
Do a little outro.
Well, maybe not 15
And as the English
minutes.
said to the Americans in 1776, we'll be back.
See you, Gavin.
Jesus.
Godspeed.
Glory. Man, that was good.
Oh, what a great episode.
That was
More
fun.
to, I was afraid that would be a lot more awkward than it was.
No,
I was
good.
afraid we would like run out of things to say and Ward would like get bored.
We had a relapse on Star Wars, so. But granted, Star Wars does have a lot of stuff with it.
I was afraid that we would have to like reach for topics. I was afraid we'd be like, so, horses, am I right?
Oh yeah, that's right. He has a farm. We should have asked more about his farm.
I did not know that he had. Hey, are you gonna see Captain Marvel?
Maybe, I don't know.
It's coming out this weekend. Haley and I are gonna see it together.
Like, I might, but a lot of times I skip out on some of the singular movies because I'm more like
the plural. You want the plural movies?
I want the plural movies. I like it when it's the team ups now because a lot of times, like with Captain Marvel, it's just gonna be Captain Marvel. Like I want to know, where did everyone go? Who's still dead? Who will
Where'd
be
you come
dead?
from, Cotton Eye Joe?
Like, I already know Captain Marvel's backstory, and I have a feeling it's probably going to be the same thing, because, like, most of them are the same origin stories. Like, with Ragnarok was a bit different, because they changed up what happens, like, a lot. So, I don't know. I might watch Captain Marvel, but from the looks of it, it's basically the same.
I'm pretty excited to see it. If nothing else, just for the post-credit teasers, because there's one for Endgame. That I saw some like screenshots
it's just
from
Thanos sitting in his house like sipping tea like, man, I'm so great.
Someone got a video of the post-credit teasers for Captain Marvel and put them online, but they got taken down before I could see it. But like I saw screenshots and I saw one of them on like Instagram or something. But do you want me to spoil the post-credit?
Yeah, do it.
All right. So, spoiler alert for Captain Marvel, the movie that has not come out yet.
That's the best kind of spoiler.
Just stop listening now if you don't want it spoiled.
Just stop listening, period.
Just delete this. Just delete this from whatever you're listening to it on.
Break
so
your
anyway,
phone in half.
the first post-credit teasers, spoiler alert, is Goose the cat from the movie. He like barfs up the Tesseract because I guess at one point he eats the Tesseract.
Oh.
So yeah, he throws it up like on some Shield guy's desk, probably Nick Fury's desk. Which I thought in the first Avengers movie that they had like just fished up the Tesseract along with Captain America, but I guess Howard Stark. Yeah, I guess they say it in the movie. Howard Stark fished it out of the ocean long before, like right after Cap got frozen.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just assumed that they pulled it out along with him.
Isn't the Tesseract the cube?
Yeah, it's the cube. It's the Space Stone.
I could have sworn though that.
I think that's how Captain Marvel gets her powers, if that comes into play in the movie. And I found a full Act 1 and 2 plot breakdown for Endgame, and I read it because I have no self-control.
Okay, that I don't want to hear about.
Okay.
I want to go unspoiled.
It's just a very mild,
one mild spoiler.
very mild Captain Marvel related thing. Okay, she has the same energy signature as an Infinity Stone.
Oh.
Like, if you have a thing scanning for Infinity Stones and Captain Marvel shows up, it'll, like, go off because of her.
I feel like that might make her a bit too overpowered, though. I thought Vision was overpowered having the Mind Stone.
She's very overpowered, but
she doesn't have a stone.
But that's even in the comics, though, too.
Yeah.
She's overpowered in the comics.
I don't know what it is, but every Captain Marvel winds up being overpowered.
But they need her to be that powerful to stop Thanos.
Good point.
Are
they going to give her cancer like what they did with the first Captain Marvel?
I am not well versed on Captain Marvel.
Okay, so the very first Captain Marvel was just like this Captain Marvel, except it was a guy who was overpowered.
Was it Marvel?
Yeah, it was Captain Marvel, but Marvel was his real name.
Right.
Brilliant storytelling, by the way. But in order to get rid of him, because he was overpowered, and they didn't want him to just basically win every fight for them, because he was basically doing that, they gave him cancer and he died.
Wow.
And he never came back. And so they shifted it to other characters. But every Captain Marvel from then on always wound up being overly powered. And would go on and do a different team that would just go do secret stuff. So they didn't have to worry about them.
Wow. So anyway, the second post-credit teaser for Captain Marvel it's the surviving Avengers at Avengers HQ.
What do we do now?
They're like, what do we do? We gotta find out who's still around. We gotta put together a game plan.
Scott Lang just calls and is like, "Hey guys."
No, it's not that. It's not that. Captain Marvel present day shows up, and I don't know what she says, but I'm guessing it's something along the lines of, "Let's get this shit done." Being fertilizer, of course.
Yeah, I heard though that they plan on making Captain Marvel the new leader of the Avengers. Like,
yeah,
I reading that somewhere, and I feel like that's not gonna be a good move because like here we have the established like original team, and here just some new person's gonna come and lead them.
Well, they're gearing up for a new generation of movies.
Yeah, I know, but
because after this, contracts are going to be up, actors are going to be aging.
Yeah,
they need to breathe new life into it if they want it to keep going.
Yeah,
I think Captain America or Iron Man, at least one of them will die in Endgame.
I do know there's always been this problem that a lot of people say. I agree with some of it, and that's like a lot of superhero movies, especially ones with like female lead characters, tend to always have like this Mary Sue type character. And I don't want that to happen with Captain Marvel. I don't want it to just be like, it's an overpowered character for the sake of being overpowered. I want it to be like, here's a story arc, here's her struggling with a problem that she has to deal with, here's her overcoming it. It's not just, perfect character from day one. I always hate that in those kind of books and movies and stuff.
Yeah.
Why can't people just let the character, develop?
I don't know, man.
It's like, I know a lot of people, like, when they see, there's a scene that always gets to me from the second Avengers movie. I think it was Age of Ultron, where Scarlet Witch was talking about how, her childhood and stuff makes her feel like she's a monster and things like that. A lot of people got angry at that.
You mean Black Widow?
There's a Scarlet Witch, I meant Black Widow. A lot of people got angry at that, and that gets on my nerves, because that's some pretty good storytelling, because, let's be fair, Black Widow doesn't have that much of a character development. She's just kind of, I'm a secret agent, I'm also kind of Russian.
Kinda.
You don't really get that much of her backstory. And giving her, that kind of character moment where she seems more like a person than just, there.
Right.
I like that. They did that with Hawkeye and Black Widow. And I feel like that's good because you're giving characters that weren't really that developed some actual development. But people got really mad with Black Widows because it was showing, this woman, being, underpowered at one point. No longer, having the strength to do stuff. Actually being, a human at one point.
Right.
And I don't get why people get angry at that, because that's perfect for storytelling. You show a character, having this tough emotional conflict and them overcoming it. That's good. I feel like that's more empowering than just them being overpowered the entire time.
Right, of course. I haven't heard anyone angry about that, but...
Oh, I saw an article, I think it was by Kotaku, because I always are complaining about superheroes for some stupid reason.
They complained about Spider-Man teaming up with the cops.
Yeah. That gets to me. It's Spider-Man's not a good hero because instead of not beating up the criminals who were armed, dangerous, and taking over a giant prison, he didn't stop and talk to them to figure out why they were there. It's I feel like if at that point you're getting a gun and shooting at innocent people and cops and stuff, maybe you were there for a reason. Maybe Spider-Man has the right to punch you in your face. I always got on my nerves though. Kotaku's they glorify cops. Isn't the first 10 minutes of the game the cops turn on you at one point?
Yeah, because half of them are bought by Fisk.
Yeah, that's also a long running thing in the DLCs. The cop lady's some of these cops are broken, bad cops. We got to deal with these and stuff.
I haven't played the DLC. I really want to. I just haven't.
They're good. They're really good. I haven't played the game. I like to read the stories and stuff because I like extended Spider-Man stuff. I'm a big fan of Spider-Man.
Yeah, me too.
So I like listening in on some of the stuff they do, and it's really good. Some of the side stories they have for the DLCs and the things like that.
How much does a DLC cost?
I think $10, $10 or $15. They're very generous on them.
Is it for all of them together?
No, it's just individual packs.
Oh.
A lot of the expansion packs tend to be like that. Another game I like is The Witcher.
Right.
Witcher 3 I have all the free DLC, none of the paid for stuff, because that's all like $20 and it's like 2 big packs.
Yeah,
like,
I don't
they're
normally
basically
buy
separate
DLC.
games.
The one time that I bought DLC recently was for Breath of the Wild.
It
Because
depends on the game for me.
I just
like,
love Breath of the Wild so much that I was like, okay, I can't not play this. I can't not play all that there is to play with this game. Because it's just so, it's just so wonderful, like, going through the world and, you know, being on a mission for something.
Yeah, like
in Breath of the Wild, you know?
with some games that I play, it depends on the game when I'm buying the DLC for it. Like, I'll buy DLC for free games I like Warframe, for example. That's a game that's got a good company, good, like, everything. It isn't being predatory with its microtransactions because it's free to play. So a lot of them tend to be like that. So I will give them a lot of money because I want to see them succeed. I want to see more content from that.
Of course.
But, like, Fallout 76, however, I will not give more money to.
Oh yeah, Fallout. I've only heard bad things about Fallout 76.
It's not good. The content in that game is basically just I saw a breakdown of this, and I actually am really interested in seeing like where they go now from here. Because what Bethesda was trying to do was minimize on how much content they give you by just repeating stuff.
Does Fallout 76 have a story?
No. It's just an MMO where you just go around and do stuff.
That's very anti-Fallout in concept.
Basically, yeah, but like that's how Fallout 4 was. Like every single quest and stuff.
But at least there was a story. At least there was a reason that you're doing
but like
everything.
the gameplay and stuff was just completely repetitive. Like Fallout 76, how it works and stuff is just like Fallout 4, minus the flashy characters telling you to go and do stuff.
Right.
This time around, it's just robots or a computer screen, and like. I didn't notice that until like someone mentioned that. And looking back on Fallout 4, a lot of the missions are just go to a place, take out the people, go to a place, grab a thing, take it back to the people, get a workshop, build a house.
Yeah, I think we should wrap this up just in case there's anyone else that wants to use this room.
Yeah, we should.
All right, this has been bold of you to say the
outro.
the extended cut. This is all going in the extended cut.
Oh, yeah, we should get out of here. Well, we still have time.
See ya, everyone. You gonna say bye?
Bye!